My name is Kiana Agosto, founder of Get Up, Show Up, Never Give Up. Season 3 of my podcast is going to be incredible. I'm going to break this interview into different segments. I'm going to be posting them every single Wednesday, weekly. Today is such an incredible opportunity to be able to interview Dr. Christopher Sletten here at Mayo Clinic. He's the director of the Pain Rehabilitation Center. This program changed my life completely. As you know and are aware of, I used to be in a wheelchair, and now I'm able to stand here and speak to you about my story and about the program that changed my life. We're going to go into depth with not only the program, but clinical research and insight from Christopher Sletten. He has over 25 years of experience in the Mayo Clinic, and he's dedicated his entire life to helping others find hope. You can follow Get Up, Show Up, Never Give Up on all streaming platforms, including social media, podcast, and go to getupshowupnevergiveup.store to purchase merchandise that is designed by yours truly. I want to make sure that this brand finds you and it finds people that it's intended to find. I want to make sure that you find hope and strength within yourself and find the resilience that lives within you. You're stronger than you think. And I want to ensure that you know that and to always believe in yourself and to get up, show up, and never give up, which is the phrase that I use every single day, proceeding to me coming here and getting better and being able to stand here and talk to you and bring all of this content to you. Much love to you all. Let's get started. We're going to get into the subject of understanding Central Sensitization Syndrome. Can you explain Central Sensitization Syndrome in a way that's accessible to someone listening at home?
Sure. Let me just start with a couple very simple examples. Most of us humans, most of our lives, experience sensation kind of like an on-off switch. On when there's a stimulus, off when the stimulus goes away. So a person takes a sip of coffee, they taste the coffee in their mouth, swallow it, the taste goes away. Gets stung by a bee, it hurts for a little bit, the sting goes away. So we're really prepared as humans to deal with things sort of on a temporary basis. But for a variety of reasons, the nervous system, starting in the body, where we have sensors in every square inch of our body except for our hair and fingernails, when those sensors get stimulated excessively or for a variety of reasons, it's like the light switch gets jammed in the on position. And when it keeps sending a signal to the brain over and over and over again, it literally changes the way the brain processes that information. And so the sensitization really happens up in the brain in a place we call the sensory cortex. I know that's a little scary and neuroscience-y, but the sensory cortex is essentially a sensation map of every part of our body. And when that map gets hit again and again and again, it begins to react more vigorously. So we often talk about the fact that over time it takes less to hurt, more things cause the hurt, fewer things help the hurt, and the hurt lasts longer. The other implication of the body map is that symptoms can spread to places that were never even damaged. This was so perplexing for so very long because people thought, well, if I broke this arm, how come this arm hurts? And it was often thought to be something psychological, which it's not. But if we understand that those two arms are represented very near each other in the brain, it makes sense if the brain is activated that can spill over to other body parts. Things like fibromyalgia or back and neck pain, things that spread and don't necessarily make sense from an anatomic perspective, make perfect sense when you understand how the brain is organized. So that in its simplest form is essentially a louder message from the body and a more sensitive receiver in the brain.
I remember you explaining this when I had taken the pain rehabilitation program, and just learning this alone for our listeners at home. It's incredible to know that this is real.
It is very
This
real.
is very real.
And not psychological.
Exactly. And it's just, when I first listened to you say that, it just took so much weight off my shoulders. It was just a relief to hear that. What are some common symptoms or patterns people may not realize are linked to sensitization?
So when we talk about the implications of central sensitization and even the name of our program, most people immediately think pain and pain alone. And certainly that's something we see frequently. But chronic fatigue, individuals' digestive issues, whether it's irritable bowel or frequent nausea or abdominal pain, things like that, balance and dizziness problems, um, uh, all kinds of numbness, tingling, itching, burning, all kinds of other sensations, as well as for some of our patients, problems moving their body in a certain way because of the sensitization. So we're really working hard to get out the message that pain may be a common thing, but it's not the only thing that we work on. And so that's part one. Part two is even if a person starts with one problem, because of the brain organization, they may start to experience problems in other organ systems. Things that were never even primarily a problem can now become a problem.
It's just incredible how the body works and how
Yeah.
things can just continue to contribute to others. And it's just a domino effect.
And a confusing one at
It
that.
really is.
Yes.
Why do you think this framework has become so important in advancing how we understand chronic pain?
Well, in part because it helps us explain to patients that this is not psychosomatic. As we just talked about, it's not in their head psychologically. And I think when you can start with that, it puts patients at ease. They start to realize, okay, you're not just think I'm depressed, or you don't just think that I'm making this up or something like that. That's part one. And then the second part is it also then plays into why we do what we do and why we pivot our attention from broken body parts from a bottom up approach to a top down approach. So many patients come to us very frustrated, having tried a myriad of treatments, medications, therapies, conventional, alternative, something their Aunt Edna told them they should try, or something they read on the internet. And it just becomes sort of a losing proposition. And when we can step back and say, look, you're not going to at this from just fixing the body. We have to work on the whole system. And so I think both as a rationale for treatment as well as the way we implement treatment, that's the key to this model.
And this model has worked and it's been very well praised by so many graduates,
Exactly.
including me.
Exactly. Exactly.
How does recognizing sensitization change the way providers treat patients?
Well, it doesn't always, but hopefully it allows the provider to say, you know what, maybe we need to stop doing those injections. Maybe we need to stop doing those treatments that are in the body that aren't working and look more towards the central nervous system. And that's a conversation I have very frequently with my treating colleagues and it's not always a clear line. It can be very indistinct. It can be very fuzzy. When do we change directions? And it's not always an all or nothing proposition either. Sometimes we can do both, but really focusing on the whole person is something that other providers can benefit from as well.
Okay. That wraps up today's episode of the Get Up, Show Up, Never Give Up podcast, Season 3, in collaboration with the Mayo Clinic Pain Rehabilitation Center. This special series features Dr. Christopher Sletten, director of the incredible PRC team, and we'll be revealing each part of our conversation in weekly segments, released every Wednesday. Each week, you'll get a deeper look into the science of pain, the psychology of healing, and the power of resilience. If today's conversation brought you hope or a new perspective, share it with someone who needs to hear that recovery is possible, because you never know who's waiting for a reminder that healing can happen. You can catch every episode, explore the movement, and shop our motivational apparel at getupshowupnevergiveup.store. Remember, healing isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. So until next time, get up, show up, and never give up.